So today we're going to talk about how to create a blueprint thesis. Just like you'd use a set of blueprints to serve as a precise and specific plan for a building or a structure, a blueprint thesis statement serves as a precise and specific plan for an essay. In other words, you're creating a thesis that will guide you as you write your essay, sort of like a roadmap. So the first question we're going to think about is, what does an effective blueprint thesis do? And there are really three parts to the blueprint thesis. The first thing it does is that it answers the prompt using keywords and phrases. Next, it makes an arguable claim. And finally, it outlines the specific points that the writer will use to prove the thesis. So these specific points that are included in the blueprint thesis will guide you in each of your body paragraphs, providing you with your subtopic that you're going to explore as a means to prove your claim. I thought it'd be helpful to look at an example. So you guys all read The Great Gatsby last year. And the prompt that I have here is, how does the theme related to the American dream in The Great Gatsby reflect modernism? So if you remember, modernism was the time period that went up through the first two world wars. And people during this era were sort of depressed. They felt like, what's the point of living? There was a bleak outlook on life. It's, all of the ideas that are reflected in the Gatsby that relate to, live for today because we don't know what tomorrow holds. So in this sample thesis, it says, F. Scott Fitzgerald promotes the modernist ideas that the future is bleak and life is futile by showing that the American dream is unattainable. He does this through the characters of Jay Gatsby, Daisy Buchanan, and Tom Buchanan. So now we're going to take a look and kind of dissect the thesis and see how it does the three things that a blueprint thesis is supposed to do. So the first question to check is, does it answer the prompt using keywords and phrases? So if we look at the prompt, the keywords that should jump out to you are theme, specifically the theme that revolves around the American dream, and modernism, the literary time period that The Great Gatsby reflects. So in the thesis statement, we do see those keywords that Fitzgerald promotes the modernist ideas, and it names a couple of those ideas, that the future is bleak, that life is futile. We see also the keyword of theme, and again, the theme related to the American dream and the fact that it's unattainable. Okay, so check. Next, does it make an arguable claim? So in order for a claim to be arguable, you want to say something that somebody could really refute or look at in a different way. So in this thesis, there's a couple of pieces to the arguable nature of the statement. The first is that it promotes the modernist ideas that the future is bleak and life is futile. So one part of the prompt is asking you how it reflects modernism, and you could say that it reflects modernist ideas, like other modernist ideas, but the ones that are focused on here, the future is bleak and life is futile, is part of the argument that is supporting the other half of the thesis, which is that the American dream is unattainable. So this is, remember, a theme is not just, a word or a term. Like the American dream in and of itself would not be enough to substantiate a theme. It has to be some kind of statement. So the theme that the American dream is unattainable is actually saying something about the American dream. Okay, it's sort of making its own claim. So that's also arguable, right? The American dream is definitely present in The Great Gatsby, but what you decide to say about it is part of the claim that's being made here in the thesis. Okay? And then the third point or question is, does it outline specific points that the writer will use to prove the thesis? Okay, so this is where we look to the second half of the thesis statement after the semicolon, where the argument is made that F. Scott Fitzgerald shows that the American dream is unattainable through the characters of J. Gatsby, Daisy Buchanan, and Tom Buchanan. So each of those individual characters is going to be the focus of the subsequent body paragraphs, and the writer is going to show that in J. Gatsby's life, the American dream has proven to be unattainable. In Daisy Buchanan's life, the American dream has proven to be unattainable. And even in Tom Buchanan's life, the American dream has proven to be unattainable. And therefore, revealing that at this point in time in this novel, the future is quite bleak and life is futile. And that's how to write a blueprint thesis.